Hey, I'm so excited that all of you are here. Today we're going to talk about abundance or scarcity. Which one are you in at this moment and season of your life? Zig Ziglar said, sometimes we need a check up from the neck up. And today, that's what we're going to do. It's like we're going to come into the Dr. J's operating room, and we're going to check you out to see where you're thinking. Now, I want to tell you a quick story before we dive into this message here today. There was a man that owned a hot dog stand on the side of the road, had the best hot dogs, and everybody was coming to get those hot dogs because, man, he didn't scrimp, right? You know, some people, they scrimp, buy cheap buns, cheap hot dogs. This guy bought the best hot dogs. He bought the best buns. He got the best condiments, man. And everybody would just come and get his hot dogs. And pretty soon, he was so blessed with customers coming from everywhere. He started another hot dog stand, then he made another hot dog stand. Pretty soon he had 10 hot dog stands, and man, the money was coming in abundance. Well, he had a son during that time, and he thought it would be cool. He said, man, you know, I'm not educated. I was just a high school dropout, and I want my kid to go to the best college because I'm making a lot of money. He sends his kid to Harvard. He goes to Harvard, gets his education, and by this time, his dad's business is really thriving, and his son comes back from Harvard, well educated, and his son says, Dad, don't you know we're in a recession? And, you know, the father's like, no, I didn't really know that. He says, oh, Dad, the world's in recession, and you need to stop spending so much money on those fancy hot dogs and those nice buns and the condiments. You need to scale back. Let's buy some cheaper hot dogs. You know, I learned this in Harvard at college. They taught me this in business school. Let's go cheaper on our hot dog and cheaper on our buns and then let's buy some cheap condiments, right? And then that way we can ride through this recession. And so they made the cuts, and guess what happened? Oh man, he went from many hot dog stands all the way down to one hot dog stand. And the father looks at the son and says, boy, son, you sure called that recession, right? You're right. We were in a recession. Now, what is that? That's mindset, my friend. It's mindset. And your mindset is so important during these times that you don't listen to the naysayers and the people who have chosen to participate in the recession. You want to not participate in the recession. You don't want to be Larry Lack. That's what that's what we're going to talk about today. You don't want to be Larry Lack, who goes to Harvard and learns how to think in scarcity ways. You want to be Amanda Abundance. You want to be the guy that he didn't know there was a recession, and if he heard that there was one, that he decided, I'm not going to participate. My hot dog stand, that's great. I'm glad everybody else is suffering. Well, I shouldn't say glad, but I understand everybody else is suffering. But hey, listen, during recession, people aren't going to eat at fancy restaurants. So guess what, man? They're going to come get more hot dogs. And what I need to do is not shrink back on the amount of hot dog stands that I have. I don't need to think scarcity. What I need to do is I need to expand. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. That during times like this, you are being tested mentally. It's a test. Are you going to stay in faith and have an abundance mindset, or are you going to move over into scarcity mindset? And it's important which way you go, because whatever way you go, where your mind goes, that which your mind goes to will rush to you. Oh my, I want you to get that. Wherever your mind goes, where your mind goes, that rushes to you. If your mind goes to scarcity, scarcity is going to rush into your life. I don't want that for you, and you shouldn't want that for you. If your mind goes to an abundance mindset, and you shift it and it moves to an abundant mindset, that abundance mindset will cause abundance of what you need to rush to you. There's a scripture that shows us. It says, draw nigh to God, and God will what? Rush to you, and God will draw nigh to you. Where your mind goes is so very important in your life. And in the parables, I love this. In Matthew chapter 13, Jesus is teaching, that the disciples were getting so much revelation and understanding about kingdom principles. They were being exposed to Jesus and his way of operating, his way of thinking. That the multitudes, they weren't getting as much as they were getting. And Jesus taught something that's so very important. He said this, the disciples came to him and said to him, why do you speak to them in parables? And he said and answered to them, because it has been given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given. And look at this next verse in verse 12. It says, for whoever has, to him more will be given. Did you just get that? To him who has, more will be given to the person who already has. Why does that person already have? Because they're an abundant thinker, so they have. They're not a scarcity thinker, so they don't have. So he says, they who have, they're going to get more. Wow. And he will have an abundance. But whosoever does not have, even what he has, will be taken away from him. Wow. Wow. This is totally contrary to what we're taught in our society, from our parents, from our teachers, from our religious institute. We're kind of taught the Robin Hood concept, right? That what we should do is we should take from the top 1% and the wealthy of the world, that they owe everybody else something, and that we should take, Robin Hood was what? Take from the rich and give to the poor. That's what we've been taught through media and all these other things, to think in this way. But Jesus starts talking about, you got to think kingdom. Kingdom operates on this principle, that the people who are thinking abundantly will have abundance, and those people will generate more and more. But the people who don't have, because they what? They think lack and live in the world of lack. Even what they have will eventually be taken away from them, and it will move to those who think abundantly about their lives. Now, when I talk about this, when I talk about abundance, I am referring to this abundant life. I want to show you this. What does that look like? Love, happiness, success, prosperity. I know it's a dirty word. Prosperity, and lots of money. Did you just get those 5? Love, happiness, success, prosperity, and lots of money. That's what we call the abundant life. And remember, we want to think what? We need a checkup. What are we thinking about those 5 areas of our life? Are we thinking abundance? Well, that person who thinks abundance, right, and his mind is turned toward abundance, what did I just tell you? Wherever your mind goes, that which your mind goes, it will rush to you. So if your mind is set on love, there's an abundance of love in the earth. There's abundance of happiness in the earth. There's an abundance of success in the earth. There's an abundance of prosperity. There's an abundance of money in the earth. Those things are going to rush to you. However, if you're over in lack, guess what? Those things are going to be repelled away from you. And so what I've been sharing is this whole concept of which person are you? Are you Amanda Abundance? Or are you Larry Lack? Larry who always thinks scarcity, there's not enough love, there's not enough happiness, there's not enough success, there's not enough prosperity, there's not enough money in the world. That's Larry Lack. Larry Lack can never afford anything because he's always thinking lack. That's where Larry is. Larry can never get enough. Larry has limited, small thinking. Remember, this same teaching from Jesus that taught this concept, not only did he teach it about the parables of Christ, he also taught this principle in the talents. Remember, there were 3 men. He brought 3 men together. One, he gave 1 talent, the other he gave 2, and the other he gave 5 talents. And what happened? There was one guy who only got the 1 talent. And what did he do? He said, I was afraid. Where was he at? He was over here. He was Larry Lack. I was afraid. See, that's where people are right now. In these times, most people are contracting back in fear instead of thinking abundantly. They're listening to the negative voices. And trust me, in Christendom, there's plenty of voices. That's why it's important that you listen to the right ones. There's plenty of voices talking lack and doom and gloom. Who you listen to right now is very, very, very important. That's why I'm being the voice of abundance. Abundance. That no matter what happens in the seasons and the cycles of the economy, that you can still think abundantly and you will live an abundant lifestyle. Famine, recession, inflation, where your mind goes, your life goes. And you've got to understand this, and you've got to have a checkup right now. Hey, which one am I? Am I A or am I L in my thinking processes right now? And here's the cool thing. You can change it by flipping the switch. All you got to do is flip the switch and say, wait a minute. I'm not thinking kingdom right now. And the guy with 1, he contracted, so he buried the 1 that he had. The other 2 guys who had 2 and 5, they didn't contract. They were Amanda abundance. They operated in faith and said, no, we're going to expand. We're going to multiply what the master gave to us. They were thinking abundance. They weren't thinking, oh, I got these two. Now I got to hold on to the little bit that I got because you don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to just sit and wait for everything to change. That's where people are today. That's how recession happens. People, ooh, I'm afraid. I'm going to wait till something changes. Waiting is not faith. People who do big things, when negative things happen, that's when they make their move. And so this is why I'm talking about these other two men. These other two men, the master came back. And the guy who shrunk back into scarcity living, scarcity thinking, lack thinking, the master said, you wicked and you lazy servant. And the other two, they said, hey, we multiplied. Then he said, take from the guy who only has one. There's no Robin Hood in that. Take from the guy who had one and give it to the guy who had 5 but multiplied what he had. For because of this, he who has, he will have an abundance. Wow. Wow. Why? Because it's smarter to give to the person who knows how to take what he has and multiplies it. It's smarter to give money to the abundant thinker because he can multiply it, then be a philanthropist and come back and help other people with it. God needs you as a kingdom person to have your think right. And he needs you to be thinking about an abundance. Now, many people, right? I said these 5 things. These 5 things. Love, happiness, success, prosperity, and money is all about the abundant life. Now, I run into a lot of people, like I start talking about money, and they always want to revert in their head and say, well, you know, money's not an important thing. You know, because really it's all about love. And it's all about, you know, for me, it's all about family and loving my family and loving my kids and my grandkids. And nothing can replace that. Now, I'm down with that. Love is part of the abundant life. I'm down with that. But let me tell you where you're at. If you're making a priority on only one, you're living with a lack mindset. I find this all the time. It's like with preachers. They don't think that, why can't I think abundantly? Why can't I say, wait a minute, living an abundant life is having a great relationship with God. It's about loving others. It's about having a great relationship with my wife, my kids, my grandkids. Why do I got to be restrictive? And why can't I take it beyond my love? Why can't I take it into happiness in my life, peace in my life, having an abundance of prosperity in my life, having abundance of success in my life, having prosperity, having money in my life? Why do I have to say only this area is the true measurement? You know why people do that? Because they have a scarcity mentality. Now, they think they live in an abundant mindset, but I hear it all the time. And what are they really doing? What they're doing is their mind is in justification. Because they have love from their family and their kids and their grandkids, because they have that, they use that as a justification that I have this, but it's okay, I don't have money. You see how that works? It's like it's this justification because you quit on money. You quit on why can't I have an abundance of love, but also have an abundance of money also, and have abundance of prosperity, and have an abundance of success here on this earth. Why do I have to be restricted? And what I found is that we find this epidemic in the church, and we have literally a abundance complex that people have this complex about abundance, and they're anti it. And whatever you're anti begins to stay away from you. I was joking with my wife. I entitled this message, God, Hot Dogs, and Peanut Butter. Here's what I know about abundance. The abundant life is all about Jiffy peanut butter right here. Jiffy peanut butter. There is no other peanut butter other than Jiffy peanut butter. Come on, if you believe that, and not just Jiffy, it's got to be extra crunchy. Man, this right here is the abundant life. Now, yesterday, if you like Jiffy, just post down below. Come on, if you like Jiffy, if you're a Jiffy person, Peter Pan, there's Peter Pan, no, that ain't peanut butter. This is the real peanut butter right here. I want you to see this. You're not gonna believe this. Look at this, man. My wife yesterday, she made me breakfast, and she made me some toast with some peanut butter. And she says, "Oh, there's no peanut butter in this." And she says, I'm gonna throw this away. I'm like, now, normally, because I'm an abundant thinker, I'm just like, yeah, throw it away, open up a new one, it'll be fresh, right? But right now, there is a scarcity. I've had people out searching for Jiffy crunchy peanut butter. Now, if you're out there, if you could go on the search for me and send me some Jiffy, if I blessed your life, if you know where I can get some Jiffy crunchy peanut butter, let me know. Or if you could get me some, send me some. Oh, I would kiss you. But right now, because of the issues with Jiffy, they're crunchy peanut butter, you can't get Jiffy crunchy peanut butter right now. So it's scarce. So my wife was going to just throw this away, and I chuckled. I said, man, we can't get no more of that. And my mind reverted back to my childhood. And I told my wife, I says, well, you were obviously brought up in more of a middle class home. But I was brought up, there's times where we were in feast, and there's times when we were in famine. And around our house, there was times where there was a lot of times where in wintertime where there was no money coming in, where the peanut butter jar looked like this, and you opened it up, you're like, man, there ain't no peanut butter in there. And guess what? I said, man, I said, honey, you need to learn the spatula strategy. She's like, what's a spatula strategy? I said, well, when you don't have any in there, you need to just get a spatula, man, and get in there and dig it all out, man. You could probably last another week if you just dig it in and dig it out, right? And so I thought that was kind of funny, right? And I don't ascribe to, oh man, let's try to scrape to the bottom of the barrel. That's like scarcity. It's like, man, there's plenty of, before this, my mind said, there's plenty of peanut butter all over the world. We can get it at Walmart. We can get it at Winn-Dixie. We can get it at Publix. We can get it down at the gas station, man. I can go down to the gas station. There's an abundance of Jiffy peanut butter. And so I wasn't thinking scarcity with every single Jiffy peanut butter I'm going to scrape. What's your point, Dr. J? Money. will never. Peanut butter, cars, houses may go into scarcity, but money will never go into scarcity. There is an abundance of money out there in the world for you to go after. But if you are thinking in your head, Larry Lack, scarcity, I gotta think scarce. I gotta think cheap. I gotta think cut back. If you're thinking, where your thinking goes, that which you're thinking rushes to you. I want you thinking, man, there is so much peanut butter out there. Man, there is so much hot dogs out there. Man, there are so many people who are looking to buy my product out there. I want you to be thinking, Amanda, abundance in this season of your life. I can have it all. I want you to post that down below. I can have it all. I'm part of a kingdom that's a rich kingdom, rich daddy, a rich God who wants his children to be rich. Rich? What do you mean by rich? Lots of love. Rich in love, rich in happiness, rich in success, which gives you self-esteem, a sense of pride about yourself, rich in prosperity, and rich in lots and lots of money so that you can achieve your God-given assignment and so you can be a big giver to others. That's what it's all about. Success. I want to help you get successful. I want you to help you get rich so that you can give back in abundance. That's what Wealthy Church is all about. Be more, do more, have more, so you can help more people. I hope you've enjoyed this message here today. And I want to end our time together by remembering this scripture. It's one of the foundational teachings of literally all religions. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Where's your thinking at in this season of your life? Are you Amanda Abundance? Or are you Larry Lack? The two of these people, you see that arrow in between? If you're Amanda Abundance, you will not be attracted to Larry Lack. So here's what I know about you. If you think lack and you have 5 friends and you think lack and scarcity, you'll have 5 friends who think lack and scarcity. You'll have 5 poor people in your life and you'll be the 6th one. If you think Amanda Abundance and you become abundance and start living the abundant lifestyle, you will have 5 friends who think abundance, and you will be the 6th person who's living the abundant lifestyle. You will attract the thoughts you have in your mind, the people, the resources. Show me where your head is. I'll show you what's rushing into your life. Hope you enjoyed this. That's why I wrote my book, Financial Fast Track, by the way. It's like I want to help people get on the fast track. And one of the whole chapters I spend is on this right here. On this right here, this subject right here, on really deciding what you want. And once you decide what you want, it starts rushing into you. You can get it right here. You go to financialfasttrack.com. You see on the bottom of the screen here, financialfasttrack.com. And right now you can get the book for free. We still have some copies in our warehouse, and you can go there right now, get that for free. And right now we're giving two big gifts away. We're giving away our Wealth Tribe, a 30-day experience with mentoring from me, where I mentor people to become kingdom millionaires. We have people who are struggling in that group. We have people who are on their way to millionaire status. And we have people who are already millionaires from my teaching who are part of that. And you can become part of that community, part of my coaching process. You can try it out for 30 days. We also have the fast coaching experience. It's a free gift to you, where I took a bunch of high-level clients and I spent some time with them identifying the number one break in their mind, keeping them from the abundant lifestyle. It was powerful, powerful teaching. You can get that right now for free. We're taking that site down. It's probably going to be down by the end of the week. I hope it and praying, because we're making a shift with all this. So make sure you go over to financialfasttrack.com, pick up your free copy while they are available, and get those free gifts.